The other thing that Andrew Berry addressed and was asked a couple of times, Perrion Winfrey charged with the domestic violence with somebody that he was dating, a misdemeanor charge. Here's what Andrew Berry had to say on the whole Perrion Winfrey situation.
It's a pending legal matter, so I won't comment specifically on that, other than to say that Perrion understands what really our expectations for all players, whether they're on the field in our building or away from the building. But with it being a pending legal matter, I'm not going to comment too much on it.
Can you just say whether he's here?
Yeah, so we haven't made any changes in terms of his roster status or anything like that, but I'm not going to say anything further.
Is that something you consider when there's an allegation like this, Andrew? And is it something that you'll still consider depending on what other information comes out?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but we'll deal with that matter internally and make the appropriate decision for the organization.
And it certainly sounds like Perrion Winfrey is on thin ice with Andrew Berry and the Browns.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say. That is GM speak for thin ice. And as far as gathering information, if you think the Browns haven't put their own investigators on this, you're crazy. Like they're going to get to the bottom of this because they don't want to be left there if something uglier comes out and they're just still holding on to the player. So they're taking all the information in that they can gather and they're going to make a decision. And I know people want fire and brimstone; they just want them gone. And if they did, I don't think you could be mad. He caused a decent amount of distractions last year for someone who was just a rotational pass rusher, who really didn't rush the passer that often. And this league is be who you can afford to be. And I don't think Perrion Winfrey can afford to be this much of a distraction. So he's on thin ice. And if I think anything were to happen past here, you would have to cut your losses and just move on.